Shape of Addison Town Meeting. I am Jack Mensching from Itasca Bank and Trust, and I will act as the moderator of this forum. We are very pleased to work with all the taxing bodies that are here for tonight's program. We hope all of you have found the previous town meetings informative and a good vehicle to have your questions answered. We are excited to have a live audience with us tonight. This is the best we've done since the pandemic, so we're excited about that. And we're also excited to have all of you at home who are watching this live. Each speaker tonight will have approximately 5 minutes to talk about their recent accomplishments and the future plans of their organization. After everyone has had an opportunity to speak, and you're going to get to watch a short video after the mayor speaks, we will then entertain questions from you. For the questions, please email them to shapeofaddison@addison-il.org, shapeofaddison@addison-il.org. Oh, let me start over. Or you can phone them in to 630-693-7975 between now and 8:15. So you can email them to shapeofaddison@addison-il.org or phone to 630-693-7975. I will then read the questions so that everyone may hear them and then direct them to the proper party. We will try to answer all of your questions if time permits. The only thing is that we ask that the questions be non-political and do not get personal. Questions of that kind will not be read as they're not appropriate for this forum. There have been many exciting events and issues this past year. We should have lots of questions. We need lots of questions from you to make this town meeting work. Our speakers tonight are going to be Dave Williams, Board President, Addison School District Number 4, Dan Olson, Board Vice President, DuPage High School District 88, Scott Walker, Fire Chief, Addison Fire Protection District Number 1, Dean Stathopoulos, Treasurer, Addison Park District, Maria Sincule, Board President, Addison Public Library, Dennis Rebeletti, Supervisor, Addison Township, and Rich Venstra, Mayor, Village of Addison. Many of our speakers have brought people from their organizations to handle any questions which may get technical. They're all seated over here. And they've got microphones, so you'll be able to hear them if they're needed. Our first speaker tonight is Dave Williams, President of Addison School District Number 4. Addison School District Number 4 was established by local residents in April of 1842. The elementary school district serves nearly 4,000 students in 9 schools and has the lowest tax rate of all elementary school districts in DuPage County. The district portion of your property tax bill is 31.5%. The elected officials consist of 7 elected members of the Board of Education. He's been on the board for 23 years, he's been president for 17, and he's lived in Addison for 43 years. Dave?
Thank you. First of all, I'd like to thank the Itasca Bank and Trust for their sponsorship of the 16th Annual Shape of Addison Town Meeting. Tonight in the audience, I have one of my fellow board members here. I believe that's Serge Ruffalo, and that's the only board member who's here. And then, who else is here? Oh, we've got Jeremiah Lang is also here. And then from our administrative department, we have Dr. Sutton, Superintendent Sutton, and then Assistant Superintendent Dr. Losi to help with some of the questions. This evening, I will highlight a few of the ongoing programs and issues affecting Addison School District 4. Our facilities and infrastructure improvements continue. The updates and renovations in the Circle area at Indian Trail Junior High were recently completed. The Media Innovation Center showcases a 21st century learning setting. And then we're going to be having an open house on February 8th at 6 p.m. You're welcome to come and tour the new facility. Continuing on, we have our necessary HVAC and infrastructure updates that will continue with the remaining schools. The district has established a renewed emphasis on improving student achievement through school improvement plans. Building level leadership teams have put in place practices and professional development aimed at improving specific student populations that they serve. We are excited at the positive outcomes that will correlate with these updates. The Citizens Advisory Committee was expanded this year in order to increase viewpoints from various members of the community. Multiple meetings have taken place with a focus on improving student achievement. District 4 is in the final year of their current collective bargaining agreement with the Addison Teacher Association. We began bargaining in November utilizing a new approach called interest-based bargaining. We are pleased to report that a large number of items on which there were conceptual agreements. While I can't go into details since we are in the middle of the process, I can report that it's been a fruitful process and that the board and administration have enjoyed working with the union leadership. Both sides are looking forward to a positive and mutual beneficial conclusion relatively soon. Last year, our long-term superintendent, John Langton, retired and was replaced by our current leader, Dr. Nick Sutton. Dr. Sutton has shown a commitment to our community and district, and his goal is to remain here for an extended period of time. I would encourage the community to watch the monthly board meetings on District YouTube channel, which is linked on our website. I thank you for the opportunity this evening to highlight what is happening at Addison School District 4. Addison Sutton and I will address any additional issues you may have during the question and answer segment. Thank you.
Thank you, Dave. Our next speaker is Dan Olson. He is the board vice president, DuPage High School District 88. He's been on the board for 4 years, been in his position for 2, and he's lived in the school district for 30 years. Dan?
Thank you. On behalf of DuPage High School District 88, I would like to thank the Bank of Itasca, thank Itasca Bank and the Village of Addison for this opportunity to share highlights and news of the district, which is comprised of Addison Trail and Willowbrook High Schools. I would also like to thank the District 88 Board of Education members and administration in attendance. Dr. Barbonente will be fielding some questions if possible. And some are probably sitting at home watching tonight. At District 88, we remain committed to making sure each student is college ready, career ready, culturally ready, and future ready. We continue to provide rigorous and yet flexible, individualized programming to meet the needs of our student population. It is our focus to have each student working towards a viable college and career integrated pathway, including access to college coursework, along with real-life career opportunities in the field of his or her choice. Students have access to advanced placement, college level, and dual credit classes, as well as externally credentialized and dual credit career paths in automotive technology, culinary arts, business careers, engineering, medical careers, teacher preparation, building trades, and robust internship and paid apprenticeship programs in the manufacturing and technical fields. Students can also take classes at Technology Center of DuPage, including cosmetology, criminal justice, fire science, medical or nursing assistant programs, and more. More than 50 languages are represented in District 88, and more than half of Addison Trail students speak more than one language. This is an incredible asset that we are committed to helping our students develop to the fullest. Our world language courses of Spanish, German, and Italian at Addison Trail include advanced placement and dual credit offerings. District 88 students have the opportunity to participate in international student exchanges and earn the state seal of biliteracy credential on their diplomas, which is awarded to graduating high school students who have demonstrated a high level of proficiency in English and in writing, reading, listening, and speaking in another language. This past school year, nearly 90 Addison Trail students earned the seal of biliteracy and the commendation towards biliteracy. The seal and the commendation of biliteracy were awarded in Spanish, Italian, and Polish. This year, we're expanding our offerings and also will test students in Japanese, Hindu, Urdu, Albanian, Greek, Lithuanian, and Vietnamese. To help our students plan for their future and process the career pathways preparation they need, we have expanded flexibility of the District 88 graduation requirements and committed to School Links, which provides comprehensive career development and college planning resources, including the ability for businesses to post openings and information directly to students. We invite companies and organizations to collaborate with us and support students through a variety of initiatives, such as a career and college pathways, serving a vocational site, advertising on a printed banner, and more. More information can be viewed at www.dupage88.net/business partnerships. Highlights of the 2022 and 2023 school year so far. Our graduation rates remain near or above 90%, which is above the state level. Or our percentage of freshmen on track to graduate is above 90%, which is also above the state level. Nearly 50% of the students enrolled are early college coursework, which provides an opportunity to earn college credit while in high school. We also are above the state level with regard to percentage of students who are considered college and career ready. Members of the Addison Trail class of 2022 are attending more than 70 colleges and universities, including Ivy League and other highly competitive institutions of higher learning. 40 Addison Trail students graduate early in December. The Illinois Student Assistance Commission announced that the 2023 and 24 state scholars and 33 Addison Trail students earned that honor. Addison Trail senior Diego De La Rosa was named as an all-state musician by the Illinois Music Education Association. 3 Addison Trail students and a staff member were selected to participate in the 2023 Illinois High School Theater Festival all-state production of Shrek the Musical. Addison Trail senior Anthony Reed received academic all-state recognition for football. The Addison Trail boys soccer team won the regional championship. And just fairly recently, the Addison Trail girls wrestling and bowling teams both won their conference titles. Our students and staff continue to demonstrate that giving back is a cornerstone of District 88 pride, and we strive to develop within students an understanding of the importance of accepting and helping others, and we volunteer, host, and participate in a variety of local, state, and international events. I would be remiss if I did not mention the historic season of the Willowbrook flag football team. The girls won the inaugural Chicago Bears Girl Flag State Championship and Regional Tournament. They will now compete during the NFL Flag Championships at the Pro Bowl, which will take place from February 3rd to the 5th in Nevada. The District 8 Board of Education earned the school board governance recognition from the Illinois Association of School Boards, which acknowledge school boards that have engaged in activities that lead to excellence in local school governance in support of quality public education. We received 3 Those Who Excel Awards of Excellence from the Illinois State Board of Education, including a Community Volunteer Award recognizing Rick Dewalder, owner and president at SWD Incorporated in Addison, for his partnership with District 88, a team award for the community food distribution program we implemented during COVID-19 pandemic, and an administrative award in honor of the late District 88 Superintendent Dr. Scott Helton's legacy. With regard to finances, we maintain a stable budget to be fair, fiscally responsible to our taxpayers. We are happy to share that through efforts of everyone working together and to control expenditures, the improving economy through the fiscal year 2022, and funding facility improvements with recent bond issuance. We have a positive increase to the financial reserves. With regard to property taxes, about 27.8 cents of each dollar goes to support District 88. We work hard to reduce costs of taxpayers through cooperative purchasing, sharing services with local agencies. We also have sustained our financial rating of AA from Moody's, and the highest level of recognition from the financial rating from the Illinois State Board of Education. I'm also pleased to share that Ryan Dumraki will transition to the role of Chief Financial Officer in July 1. We would like to thank the outgoing Chief Financial Officer Ed Hoster for his 10 years of service to District 88. And we wish him well with his retirement. We also welcome Olga Davis as our new Director of Business Services and Elena Edwards as our new Director of Student Services. With regards to facility updates, we have faced several supply chain delays and setbacks as a result of extreme inflation. Despite these challenges, we will update our air conditioning in the CTE areas at Addison Trail, and we'll update the District 88 transition program areas. Future enhancements of Addison Trail, including expanding the culinary area and upgrading the auditorium. The safety and well-being of our students and staff is #1 priority, and to enhance those efforts, we have implemented digital student IDs this year, and students must scan their IDs at certain entry points throughout the buildings. We know our success is a result of our partnership, and we look forward to working with the community to keep involved improving our schools. We value our open and transparent communication with our stakeholders, and we frequently update our website, electronic newsletter, and social media to keep the public up to date with the happenings of the school. We encourage you to visit www.dupage88.net/communication, where you can stay connected with the news about the district, sign up for our newsletter, join our social media. Thank you for your continued support of the students, staff, and entire learning committee of District 88.
Thank you, Dan. It's always good to hear all the things that your students do. Our next speaker is Scott Walker, Fire Chief, Addison Fire Protection District. He's been Fire Chief for 3 years. The Addison Fire Protection District was founded in 1947 by a referendum of incorporation on February 27th, 1946. The Fire Protection District portion of your tax bill is 9%. The governing board consists of 3 elected trustees. Scott?
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I too want to thank Itasca and Village of Addison, Itasca Bank and the Village of Addison for hosting us. As stated, I'm Scott Walker, I'm the Fire Chief. Seated to my right, Eric Kramer, Deputy Chief of the Fire District. Trustee Baxter, who is our treasurer, is in the audience with you tonight. And then at home, we have Board President Mike Super and Treasurer De La Rocca. Much like 2021, 2022 was yet another unprecedented year for the Fire District. The COVID-19 pandemic continued to linger in our community and with the ranks of our personnel. Although our COVID-19 response numbers diminished in 2022, other illnesses like the common cold, the flu, and others that were likely suppressed in the general population during lockdowns came back pretty strong and kept us pretty busy. Calls for service have risen steadily over the last several years, and 2022 was no exception. In total, the district responded to 5,767 calls, which was an increase of 6.25% from the year before. Within that 6.25%, calls for emergency medical services rose 5%. 2022 was the busiest year on record for the Fire District. During the last Shape of Addison, we shared the fact that the Fire District took on pension obligation bonds to fully fund our pension. We've since started the process of paying these bonds back and have completed paying back 2 of 20 bonds that are in the series. As everyone is aware, the stock market had less than a stellar performance in 2022, which means our pension fund investments that were purchased with the pension bonds performed pretty poorly, as everybody knows out there, if you've got a 401k. We're lucky, though, but the savings that were produced with the issuance of the pension bonds has afforded us the opportunity to make additional payments to our pension bond fund to offset the losses. This will prevent us from having any unfunded liabilities creeping back in. We shared last year that the Fire District became one of less than 300 fire departments in the world to achieve accreditation on Fire Accreditation International. This process was by no means a one-and-done endeavor. To maintain our accreditation status, the Fire District needs to repeat a full accreditation process every 5 years. The years between this process, we're required to do an annual compliance report, which confirms we are completing any identified strategic and specific recommendations, and also to ensure that we remain within compliance with accreditation. We're happy to report that we successfully completed our first annual report, and we remain accredited. The effects of the pandemic, gotta get a drink of water. the effects of the pandemic continue to cause supply chain issues and has changed the employment hiring landscape for many businesses throughout the U.S., and the fire district has not been immune to these issues. We currently need to fill 2 firefighter-paramedic positions that have been caused by employee retirements, and a shortage of paramedics has made this process of hiring more challenging. In an effort to increase the potential pool of candidates who apply, the fire district is tweaking the hiring requirements by extending the age and education requirements to the date of hire as opposed to the date we start the testing process. Thought being that we'll be able to hit paramedic schools, get kids that might be 20 years old in school, they can take our tests and then become available to hire. This year, we'll start the process of ordering a new fire engine to replace our oldest fire engine, which is 23 years old. The process of ordering a new fire engine normally would take about 1.5 years from start to finish. This number is now extended to 2.5 years, with cost increases of 20% or more. This is all related to lingering inflation and the COVID pandemic supply chain issues. The time delay and, the money for this purchase, just like all our capital purchases, are made from money that have been saved and placed in our capital replacement fund. Several planned capital purchases were completed in 2022, including the replacement of windows at 2 of our fire stations, pretty extensive repair of parking lots at all 3 fire stations, and the replacement of all the stretchers that are within our ambulances. These new stretchers include features that will improve safety for both the patients we transport and the paramedics treating them. Hiring personnel and purchasing vehicles and equipment consume a large amount of taxpayer dollars. To help with these decision-making processes, we've started using predictive software that will help guide us in our decision-making. This software can help predict the locations and type of calls the fire district will see in the future based on projected growth and demographics of the population we serve. This software will serve as an additional tool to help us ensure that we're right-sizing everything we do and to provide the best service possible in the future. Finally, we encourage everyone watching at home or here tonight to get to know your fire district. We believe strongly in transparency and community involvement, and to this end, we encourage everyone to visit our website where you can meet our firefighter paramedics, review various documents related to our finances, our monthly meetings, and additional information about our operations. You can visit us and like us on social media, where you'll find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and YouTube. As always, we're here to professionally serve our community in the most efficient way possible. In closing, again, I'd like to thank the Village of Addison and Itasca Bank for hosting this event. I would also like to thank the agencies represented here tonight for their continued partnership. We look forward to what 2023 will bring on. On behalf of the Fire District, we are proud to be part of the Addison Advantage. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
Thanks.
Excuse me. Our next speaker is Dean Stathopoulos. He is the treasurer, Addison Park District. He's been on the board for 4 years, been treasurer for 3 years, and lived in town for 24 years. Dean?
Thank you very much for the introduction. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in, for being out here today. As mentioned, my name is Dean Stathopoulos, treasurer for the Addison Park District Board. I'd like to thank Itasca Bank and Trust, the Village of Addison. I'd like to also point out a couple people that are here. We have Jen Hermanson, our executive director. We have Board Commissioner Mike Clementi. We have Board Secretary Stacy Ruffalo. And of course, I do want to mention Tina Towns, past board president here as well. Served a lot of time on the board, helped us out. In addition, Frank Angiulo, our president, could not be here, and Mike Capizano, our vice president, could not be here. Talk about a couple different things. I'm going to bring up a couple of the accomplishments we've done, some of the progress we've completed, ongoing events, and what we're going to be working on in the next year. We have brought on Jason Faust as our new superintendent of Parks and Planning. I wanted to mention that. And also congratulate Liz Scott, who was promoted to superintendent of HR and business services. As many businesses in the area are dealing with, we are also looking for employees. If you know anybody that's interested in working with the park districts, we have positions from entry level to skilled positions as well. Visit us at addisonparks.org for more information. Some of our accomplishments this last year. One of the big things, we received an OSLAD grant from the state in the amount of $396,250 to add amenities and help restore Lake Manor Nature Preserve to make it a more native habitat. We're working on the construction documents now and plan to go out to bid in the next couple of months and starting the project hopefully spring, summer. Some of the enhanced amenities will include, but are not limited to, activity play equipment for youth and adults, fitness activity equipment, fishing station, updated picnic shelter, enhanced walking path, and also the landscape and native plantings. In addition, we want to give a huge thanks to the Parks Department. We renovated all the baseball fields and softball fields this past, probably near the end of summer. We brought this project in-house, which ended up saving the Addison taxpayers approximately $90,000. So again, huge shout out to our entire staff for helping out and some of the organizations that did help with some of the planning of that. Moving along, over the past 4 years, one of our goals as the board is to become very fiscally responsible. We have ended up reducing our outstanding debt by just over $6.2 million in the last 4 years, as I mentioned. As everybody has been increasing the online presence, we have made it a priority, and we've been doing a lot more communications online with the public. We do have a Facebook page. We do have, actually, as I mentioned, the addisonparks.org. We completed at Club Fitness our steam room renovations. A couple of snags that we hit, so that was delayed just slightly, but we are constantly working on making more improvements over at Club Fitness. Our disc golf community in Addison raised most of the funds to help repair all the disc golf tees and also helped us with cleanup days over at Foxdale Park. If you haven't tried disc golf, you should try it. It's a fun sport. It's always outdoors, too. If you haven't heard, our golf dome is now 100% top tracer. We have it on every bay. State-of-the-art technology was brought in. The numbers that we've been having at the golf dome exceeded our wildest expectations. We're getting people from all over. We do encourage people to get out there, and once the range opens up closer to spring, the weather breaks, come on out and hit some balls outside as well. Some of the programs that we've been finishing up, obviously with the holidays, Breakfast with Santa was a great success again, our Polar Express, Candy Carnival around October. Last year with the Easter egg breakfast and Easter egg hunt, our Movie in the Park summer camp, all of those events have been selling out. We have waiting lists on a lot of those events too. We are planning them for this year, so we encourage people to get information as quickly as possible and register on a lot of these. We're also excited to announce our new Arts in Motion program. We have hired a dedicated staff to focus on creating and expanding our cultural arts program with new musical theater and dance classes this year. In addition, I'd like to give a shout out to our Seniors Club. If people don't know, the Seniors Club in Addison is probably one of the largest and most active in all of DuPage County. They meet every Wednesday, and they have senior club and adult activities throughout the week. Again, all this information, you can come out to Community Park, you can go to addisonparks.org to find things out. Now, as far as some of the events that go on ongoing, we have volleyball open gym, we have adult basketball open gym, we do swim lessons, we've expanded our pickleball programs and clinics. Our group fitness classes have increased to about 49 weekly classes. We have before and after school childcare. We have Kids Day of Fun. When school's out of session, bring them by. We have a lot of activities, weather permitting outside if possible, or do trips on them. And then based on a lot of the demand we've been getting on Facebook and email and electronically, we're always looking to add more youth and adult athletic activities. So again, let us know. We have rental space available at all of our parks and facilities, including links and tees. Some of the things we have coming up, wide range of activities for everybody. Our golf dome now started on Wednesday nights twice a month. Ladies' night wine and golf. This does fill up quickly, so if you're interested in golfing with some friends, learning, come on out, have a wine, whatever you'd like to have, not a problem, but please, again, with everything pre-register. We have our Parents Kids Valentine's Day dance party on Friday, February 10th. We have our pickleball tournament, Winter Blues, Saturday, February 25th. Our preschool open house is on March 15th, a Wednesday. That'll be open for people to see what we offer. And then we have our Easter egg hunt and pancake breakfast on April 1st. Currently, we're working on some summer camp programs. Once more of that information is finalized, we'll get all of that out in our programs that should be coming out. We are looking to have our new program guide coming out February 27. Senior highlights will be coming out approximately February 21st. And as always, the board is working on the capital improvement plan to bring what the residents want to this town. One thing we did want to mention, We have applied for a grant for Community Park and to improve and add the amenities there. We appreciate everybody that came out for the public meeting this past year. We're just waiting on the state of Illinois to let us know if we have received the grant. So I want to wrap up with a couple of the hours. Again, Club Fitness, we're open 7 days a week. Community Center, we're open from Monday to Friday, but rentals are available on Saturdays and Sundays as well. Golf Dome is also open 7 days a week. If you have any questions, again, please feel free to reach out to us. The number is 630-233-7275, addisonparks.org, or stop into any of our facilities and say hello, ask some questions, and get any type of information. Again, I want to thank everybody for giving us the opportunity to speak and to be here, and we look forward to any questions at the end.
Thank you, Dean. You guys are very busy. Lots of programs. We're getting a lot of good questions in, but we can use some more, so the more questions, the better. Our next speaker is Maria Sinkiel. She's board president, Addison Public Library. She's been on the board for 4 years, been president for 2 years, and lived in town for 36 years. In 1962, the village board approved a referendum request to establish a tax-supported library. The voters of Addison passed the referendum with a vote of 437 to 69. The library portion of your tax bill is 5.5%. The library board consists of 7 elected trustees. Maria?
Thank you to Itasca Bank and Trust for sponsoring the Shape of Addison again this year. My name is Maria Sinkiel, and I'm the president of the Addison Public Library Board. Before I begin, I would like to recognize my library director, who is also here, Mary Maja Mazenga, who is here to also help me answer any questions that you may have tonight. As well as my fellow board members, I want to recognize them. They're in the audience, so thank you, Maria Piscopo, Robert Lyons, and Ruben Robles. We've had an exciting year this year for 2022. We have been excited to welcome more and more of the Addison community back to the library after COVID-19 pandemic struck in 2020. In 2022, we had 277,229 visitors, an equivalent of 636 visitors per day. This was an increase of more than 200% over 2021. You borrowed over more than 300,000 items from our collection last year, which was an increase of more than 100%. We enjoyed hosting over 25,000 of you at library programs this year alone and connecting with the community at outreach events all year long. We hope you had a chance to grab a free book from the Rolling Reader, Lecter, Rodante book bike at Rock on Wheels and other spots around town. 2022 brought exciting new changes to the library. In the spring, we created a teen limited access cards, which allow Indian Trail and Addison Trail students to sign up for a library card more easily when they're using the library after school. In May, we added memory kits to our library of things, which is a collection that kind of helps residents connect with loved ones who are experiencing memory-related issues. In the summer, we launched automatic renewals, which means you can enjoy the library materials for a longer period of time if no one is waiting for the items you have borrowed. Library staff worked hard last year to bring you impactful in-person and virtual programs. In February, we collaborated with Literacy DuPage and the Indian Prairie, Westmont, Naperville, Itasca, and Wheaton Public Libraries in Host Neighbors Together, a series of programs around the theme of immigrant experience to inform and inspire better understanding of our neighbors. In November, we created Technology Made Simple, a series of classes in both English and Spanish designed to help community members improve their understanding of technology basics. That same month, we launched the library's first ever Artist in Residence program, featuring artist Antonia Rupert, who hosted workshops in November and December that brought the community together. In 2022, we continue to find opportunities to support our business community and local job seekers. Our Getting Addison Back to Work program, a series of webinars for job seekers that originally debuted in 2020, returned in spring 2022, thanks to a grant from the Illinois State Library. In the fall, the library partnered with WorkNet DuPage to host Skill Up Addison in both English and Spanish to help connect local job seekers with free resources they can use in addition to the library's offerings. We continue to host several business-focused workshops, sign up Addison businesses for library cards, and brought back our annual Small Business Saturday campaign again in 2022. The library's efforts to support Addison business owners were even included in the Libraries That Build Business, a book published by the American Library Association last summer. We invite everyone in Addison to visit the library in person or online and discover all the ways you can put your library card to use. As far as upcoming renovation, the library's 2021 to 2024 strategic plan intends to help us address community needs that were identified in our 2020 survey. Our plan focuses on 4 key priorities: promoting library services, collections, and resources to the community, fostering reading, digital and informational literacy skills, identifying barriers to library services and addressing those barriers, and providing excellent customer service. By focusing on these things, our ultimate goals are that everyone in Addison knows what the library offers to them, and that everyone feels valued and respected at the library. As part of our strategic plan, we are working with an architecture firm on a renovation plan for the library that addresses the community's noise and space concern, includes additional meeting and co-working space, and offers a full-service drive-up window. Since our current building was completed in 2008, the board has been transferring reserve funds into our capital improvement fund in order to save for future building maintenance needs and an eventual renovation. Because of those accumulated funds, the library will be able to both manage building maintenance projects that will need to be addressed over time and complete a renovation to our existing building without asking taxpayers to contribute more money to the library. As of this moment, construction is slated to begin toward the end of 2023, and the project will be completed in 2024. We look forward to sharing more information with you as soon as it becomes available. Thank you, Addison, for your continued support of the library. We would also like to thank the Friends of the Addison Public Library for helping the library fund special programs, initiatives like their sponsorship of summer reading and a recent Artist in Residence, as well as many other outstanding community partners that are here for collaborating with the library to serve our community and spread the word about what the library has to offer. Thank you.
Thank you, Maria. Over 600 people a day, that's amazing. It's a lot of usage. Our next speaker is Dennis Rebeletti. He is the supervisor of Addison Township. He's been with the township for 6 years, been supervisor for 6 years, and lived in town his whole life. Dennis?
Thank you very much to the bank and to the village for hosting this, to everybody in the audience watching and in person, and a special shout out, if you will, to elected officials everywhere who step up and run and who actually represent the communities. In today's world, and let me tell you, I can tell you from personal experience, putting your name on the ballot means you put a lot on the ballot. You put your character, your reputation, your family's character and reputation on the line so that your community can have a voice. I've been privileged to represent this community in some way, shape, or form since August of 2000. I wish I didn't think I was that old, but I have been fortunate to do that in different capacities. And one of the things that I have treasured is a relationship with the people here on this board that are sitting on this dais. And as they come and go, it doesn't change. The people that become elected, the new directors in different agencies, they all step up and they want to work together. And that's why I was pleased to be able to be invited to this forum to talk about what the township does. I don't have anybody sitting over here. I wish I did. We're a much smaller organization. We have about a $2.5 million levy. It's 2% of your tax bill, but we're the most picked on governmental entity you will ever find. Why? I'm not really sure, because people don't know what we do. Well, I can tell you what we did during the pandemic. We fed 600 families a week with the help of a lot of the folks here on this dais. Nobody else could have done that. No other community could have done that. Because what I've said here before and in other opportunities is that the township, from a social service side, is a place where we are the social safety net. We help people with LIHEAP, benefit access. We help people with housing, emergency assistance, and utilities. So a lot of the folks that are coming to see us aren't necessarily excited to come and see us, but we are the place you come because somebody will be there to pick you up and give you a hand up. And we were able to do that through the pandemic, but it's not without a lot of partnerships. We have 3 statutory duties, not very exciting stuff. The township supervisor does general assistance. Most folks don't know what that is. That is helping single-aged folks with financial resources to stay in their homes. What that usually ends up being nowadays is people taking care of their elderly parents. The assessor, who is from Addison, is in the middle of what we've called the quadrennial, which he is required to assess everybody's property every 4 years to find out what the new value is. So that's going to take place. So everybody's parcel number will be in the newspaper. Everybody's values will be changed. And then that's what all of us as taxing bodies figure out what portion we get, because he decides the value of our homes, our businesses, our properties, and then we as taxing bodies go from there. We have a highway department which serves unincorporated areas, but since Addison, the village of Addison is about 50% of the township, we have a great working relationship with the village in sharing equipment, labor. We don't pick our plows up, nor do they, because you come to an intersection. This is unincorporated, this isn't. That isn't like that. So we all work together. My office not only is helping people from a financial standpoint that are in need, but our food pantry has also continued to help about 150 to 175 families a week. As you see the struggles in your food bills, when people like my wife tell me I can't believe eggs are $4 a dozen, that means it's more difficult for me to get eggs for families throughout the township. The township is about 90,000 people. It includes Addison, Elmhurst, Bensonville, Wooddale, Itasca, Elk Grove Village, I bet you guys didn't know that, and the city of Chicago, because we have the airport. So it's always nice to be the only Republican, I think, that still represents the city of Chicago. So I want to say that for myself. So while we are small, we step up. We help to work with all these folks here. And I wish I had a building that was built around 2008. My building was built in 1949. Another section I found out was built in 1951. Another section was built in 1953. And the gym/event center that I call it now was built in 1963. And I just learned this from documents that I found as we were trying to figure out how things were designed as they are. Our infrastructure improvements continue on that. New parking lot, new roof, masonry work, improvements on the inside. We bought it from the District 4 in 1983 or 84. And I think that it was something that people thought they would be working on for a period of time, but I think I ended up working on it for a period of time. To me, it's a labor of love. It's 45,000 square feet. It's pretty big, but it's something that we're going to make usable. And finally, the most important thing that is facing the township is that by 100 votes, so your votes do matter, a mental health board passed. And I will be appointing 7 people from the township to take in information regarding mental health services, substance abuse issues, profound disabilities, and something else, it escapes me right now, but we have the opportunity to have a new levy to provide those services. It is my intention to have staff on site at the township, not just give grants as other townships do. To work a program where we have licensed counselors on site and that we establish a working program with local schools so that local neighborhood students can begin internships right here at the township, right here in the community, so they can get their hours to serve here. I will be meeting with Serenity House to talk with them about their needs. We will be bringing in Ray Graham, Easter Seals, and others to testify in front of the Mental Health Board as well as ourselves to find out what the needs are. But the one thing I have learned from the pandemic is that all of us have been impacted, all of us. And it's been a struggle for all of us, no matter how strong you are, and we see that every day. And I think this is something that we'll be very mindful of, both from a financial perspective and we'll be very mindful of from the social needs as we talk about our youth all the way up through our seniors. So I thank you for the opportunity. I look forward to any questions you may have.
Thank you, Dennis. I forgot to read your statistics, but I think you went through all of them. The only one you might not have mentioned is they only get 1.6% of your tax bill. Tax dollars goes to them, so they do it on a very slim budget. Our last speaker, before we get to questions, will be Rich Veenstra, Mayor, Village of Addison. He's been on the board for 31 years, been in his position for 10, and lived in town for 51. The Village of Addison was established by referendum of incorporation on September 8, 1884. The elected officials consist of a mayor, a village clerk, and 6 village trustees. The village portion of your property tax is 9%. Mayor?
Good evening. I want to thank Itasca Bank for once again sponsoring the Shape of Addison, and to give a special thanks to Jack for moderating tonight's presentation. And I would be remiss in not congratulating Itasca Bank on celebrating their 75th anniversary. So
Thank you.
Congratulations. I also want to recognize my colleagues whose help, support, expertise, and involvement have been critical in moving our community forward. They are Village Clerk Lucille Zaccaro, Deputy Mayor Tom Hunley, Trustees Bill Lynch, Kathy Klusny, Sam Nasty, Don O'Brien, and Jay Del Rosario, as well as our village manager, Joe Moranowitz, and the entire management team, including Bill Hayden, Rick Federici, and Mike Crandall. Despite the lingering economic impact of COVID, this has been another successful year for Addison. We continue to be financially stable, due in large part to a well-balanced diversity in our revenue stream and a conservative approach to our budgeting process. We continue to see interest and growth in commercial, industrial, and residential development. Our bond rating, which is critical in securing the most favorable credit rates, was reaffirmed as AA+ by Fitch and AA by Standard & Poor's. Our goal is to maintain an unrestricted fund balance of 25% of expenditures. This year, we were able to maintain a 55% fund balance, due in large part to the receipt of federal COVID mitigation monies, deferral of projects and programs, and the diligent work of our staff in maintaining a fiscally responsible operation while ensuring high-quality service levels. This fund balance allows us to maintain service levels throughout the year and to fund some of the programs and projects that had previously been deferred. It also provides us with a means to cover unexpected emergencies, such as this Christmas Eve's flood caused by a frozen sprinkler head, which resulted in major damage to the boardroom, the Driscoll Hall, and the Community Development Department. To supplement revenues and to minimize tax burden on our residents, we continue to be aggressive in our pursuit of both state, federal, and county grants when available. This year, with the assistance of state and federal legislators, including Senate President Don Harmon and Congressman Roger Krishnamurthy, we were able to receive just over $14 million in grants for road, sewer, and flood mitigation projects. Additionally, we were able to abate over $2.4 million in property taxes for bond payments using home rule sales tax revenues. The village once again was the recipient of the Government Finance Officers Association Certificate of Achievement for Excellence, and as well as the Distinguished Budget Presentation Award. On a bittersweet note, Roseanne Benson, who has served as our Director of Finance for the past 22 years, decided to take a much-deserved retirement this past December. Rose's expertise and dedication are truly responsible for the strong fiscal position we enjoy today. And we also, while we wish Rose the best, we also want to welcome Colleen Witt as our new Finance Director. Colleen has done an exceptional job as Assistant Finance Director and will continue the tradition of excellence we have come to rely upon. The bottom line is that the village continues to be in a very strong fiscal position and in very good hands. Due to the COVID-related impact on the supply chain, several community development projects were again delayed through 2022, but many were or are in progress and nearly completed. This past year, we collected $2.2 million in permit fees had 62 new business applications with a total of 1,146 business licenses issued. Project updates. A&W, purchased from Burger King in 2021, plans to refurbish the facade, remodel the interior, and add a new outdoor dining area were approved by the village board and permits issued. But manufacturer equipment delays, construction costs, and worker shortage have slowed progress. The owner is looking to open for business in early spring of this year. Addison Pharmacy. In 2022, the owner of Addison Pharmacy applied for and received grant money to update their building appearance through the Village Facade Grant Program. The former facade was recently removed to comply with village building codes, and partial framing and new cladding materials have been installed. The work will be finished in early spring. Addison Horizon. In December of 2021, the village board approved a 3-story, 62-unit independent living facility for seniors. This 2.5-acre vacant property, located on Green Meadows Drive between Green Meadows Shopping Center and the park, will be redeveloped as an age-restricted multifamily development. The developer applied for CDBG funding and federal tax credits, but was unsuccessful. After several discussions with the county and the Illinois Housing Authority, the Alden Foundation revised and resubmitted their applications in December of 2022 and is awaiting funding results, which we anticipate will be happening in the next several months. 1000 North Rolling Road, the old Fuddruckers. A building permit was issued in March of 2020 to completely renovate the interior and exterior of the building, including major site improvements. The owner has delayed the progress by working outside of the approved plans, causing the village to stop work until revised plans have been submitted and approved. Fly dumping and outside storage has occurred during this time, causing the village to write citations to the owner. The village has recently learned the property is for sale. 50 South Fairbank Street, the Misner Group. In July of 2021, the village board approved a planned unit development to construct a 77,815 square foot warehouse facility at the former Ray Grant property at 50 South Fairbank. To date, the developers have completed demolition, mass grading, and detention, along with the construction of exterior walls and roof. The developer is looking to complete the project this fall. Calvary United Pentecostal Church. In December of 2022, the village board approved the annexation and expansion of the Calvary United Pentecostal Church property located on Armory Trail Road. The church property includes 2 parcels totaling 6.5 acres, 1 parcel containing a single-family residence and detached garage, and 1 parcel containing the church and parking lot. The church is proposing to construct a 14,000 square foot addition with seating for 369 people and expansion of their parking lot. The church is looking to apply for permits during the spring of 2023 with hopes of breaking ground in late summer. Amazon has decided to temporarily sublease their new 186,000 square foot delivery service facility located on Lake and Swift. At this time, the building has not been leased, but there has been substantial interest. Logistics Property Company acquired the property in 2019, annexed it into the village, demolished the former buildings, and did substantial site remediation to what once was essentially a dump site in unincorporated DuPage County. 550 East Lake Street. In November of 2019, the village approved a planned unit development for this parcel located between the Baymont Hotel and the Shell Station. That includes 2 commercial buildings of approximately 10,000 square feet each that will be occupied by future retail, fast food, and casual dining tenants. The project was placed on hold due to COVID and financial considerations, but now, just over 3 years later, the developer is moving forward. The project was just re-reviewed and reapproved by our Planning and Zoning Commission and will now go through the normal development process. Sunmist. The former Sunmist property was sold in late 2022. Staff has been discussing plans with the new owner for a breakfast and lunch concept called Cafe on Lake Street. He is currently developing architectural plans to completely revamp the interior of the building and give the existing facade a much-needed facelift. 1100 West Lake Street, Alexandra Point. The 6.5-acre former Oxford Bank property was approved by the village board in May of 2019. The developer asked for and was granted a one-year extension, and the project was pushed back to 2021. In October, the village board approved an alternate site design with 13 additional units. The building will have a different layout and facade appearance, but will maintain separate entrances to each of the independent living, assisted living, and memory care areas. The developer is looking to start demolition in spring with construction to follow. However, he's also considering selling the property. The Highlands, in 2020, the village board approved a 60-lot single-family residential subdivision on the former Driscoll High School property called the Highlands. To date, the developer has sold 54 of 60 lots with an average sale price in the upper $500,000 range, with some reaching in excess of $700,000. Pulte is targeting to complete the subdivision in late July or early August of this year. The Enclave at Mill Creek. This Meritus Home project is nearly complete with their 87-lot single-family residential subdivision built on 30 acres of the former Addison Golf Course. The project was designed to target active older adults. Construction began on the models in the fall of 2017. To date, in Phase 1, 42 of the 44 lots have been sold with an average sales price of $519,000. In Phase 2, 42 of the 43 lots have been sold, also averaging approximately $520,000. The Towns of Mill Creek. The Towns of Mill Creek is located at the northwest corner of Army Trail and Mill Roads and is considered Phase 3 of the Enclave. This development will consist of a hybrid townhome condominium project, providing 60 multifamily residences. Mass grading and infrastructure have already begun, and the developer is in for permitting to construct two models, one 6-unit and one 4-unit. Sales prices are anticipated to be in the mid-300 range. Woodland Estates. This ranch-style townhome development has been expanded to 19 units. 4 of the 5 buildings have been completed, and 13 units are currently occupied. Units are selling in the $400,000 range. The 5th building is currently under construction, and the developer is hoping to complete the entire project this summer. Quick Trip. In 1997, the village board approved the Addison Town Center planned unit development, which includes the Hilton Garden Inn, Medina Shriners, and 11-plus acres that have remained vacant. In May of 2021, the village board approved a site plan for a Quick Trip gas station and convenience store on the southern 7.5 acres of the site. The balance of the property immediately across from Medina Shriners will remain available for future development, ideally as another hotel or restaurant. The developer has recently issued a full building permit and has started mass grading, stormwater management, and utility connections. The project is targeted for completion this fall. 194 North Addison Road, the former Green property. This property was once a key piece of the village's town center redevelopment master plan. The plan called for a high-visibility retail development along with townhouses and condominiums to complement the retail. With the recession that occurred in 2008 and the lack of interest from developers, the Panettone Development Company purchased the property and was issued a permit to assemble and redevelop approximately 10.5 acres of land at the corner of Addison Road and Moreland Avenue in order to construct a 187,000 square foot warehouse and distribution facility. To date, the majority of the site and building have been constructed. The developer is looking to complete the project in summer of 2023. The Village Green expansion. As part of the redevelopment of the Green property, the village now owns approximately 2 acres of land at the corner of Lake Street and Addison Road and plans to extend the Village Green into the area and move the Veterans Memorial Circle to this location. To date, a landscape architect design firm and various village staff members have been working on a design that will expand the Village Green in order to provide additional space, accommodate the relocation of the Veterans Memorial, and enhance activities to promote community engagement. Construction is anticipated to start this spring with a dedication and opening ceremony slated for Veterans Day. Lutherbrook. The village purchased the property in May 2020, and all buildings located on the site were demolished in 2021. The property's location, size, and visibility make it a critical piece of our overall Lake Street revitalization. Staff has spoken with over a dozen developers interested in redeveloping the site for commercial and residential use, and several concept plans have been received. Clearly, in spite of the pandemic, we saw significant expansion in both commercial and residential sectors, with continued growth in retail, industrial, and in the number of housing options for seniors, empty nesters, and those seeking quality mid-range housing. In terms of infrastructure, we continue to focus on hard infrastructure throughout the past year with completion of several large projects. Reconstruction of the anaerobic digester system at the North Wastewater Treatment Facility on Addison Road was completed this past spring. The 2-year, $7.2 million renovation project will ensure the future sustainability of the plant and was constructed with the latest in technology, safety controls, and energy-efficient measures currently available in the industry. Water main replacement was installed on the north section of Lincoln Avenue and Linda Lane. The underground work on Linda Lane was done prior to the Tuttle Street resurfacing project, which was completed this fall. In advance of potential infrastructure funding from federal government, the village was aggressive in pursuing engineering proposals and feasibility studies for large-scale infrastructure improvements. Focus has been on drainage improvements, water main replacement, removal of lead service lines, combination sewer separation, and potential treatment plant consolidation. All projects would help to control long-term costs, increase public safety, as well as improving drainage. As mentioned earlier, we've been awarded in excess of $14 million to fund or partially fund these projects. The water meter replacement meter reading antenna system upgrade was initiated this past summer. All 10,000 water meters will be replaced in residences and businesses throughout Addison. Approximately 30% of the installations have been completed. This new technology will allow for more accurate tracking of usage, as well as options for customers to receive preemptive text or emails alerting them to leaks or high water usage. Providing a safe environment, both for residents as well as for business, is a prime responsibility of the village. In the past year, Addison, similar to other municipalities in DuPage, has seen an increase in crime rates, primarily in the category of thefts. To address the growing issue of DuPage being targeted by individuals and groups from outside the county, we, along with other municipalities, have formed rapid response teams, expanded interdepartmental cooperation, and upgraded technology. With the ongoing collaboration of the various law enforcement agencies and the leadership of our state's attorney, Bob Berlin, we expect to see a reversal in the number of crimes in the following year. The Addison Police Department continues to be recognized for their efforts and the quality of their work by the Commission on Accreditation of Law Enforcement Agencies, awarding the APD certification with excellence. This ranks Addison in the top 4% of accredited policing agencies worldwide. 2022 was a year of recovery and rediscovery. Our Workforce Development Committee continued to sponsor job fairs to help Addison address the critical need for skilled employees throughout our commercial and industrial sectors, as well as to provide well-paying career opportunities for our residents. The committee is currently working with Congressman Krishnamurthy's staff to enhance career training programs and opportunities for all of our residents. Rock and Reels returned to a full schedule and broke all-time attendance records. Addison Stardust Bowl hosted the U.S. Bowling Congress's largest women's professional tournament, bringing over 30,000 bowlers to town over a 3-month period. The previous year's tournament was held in Reno, and next year's will be in Las Vegas. I guess they're in pretty good company. Our 31st Mayor's Community Charity Ball was still limited to 300 guests due to staffing issues with the banquet hall, but exceeded last year's proceeds by 23%, with over $59,000 raised for local charities. The Christmas tree lighting event was expanded to a month-long celebration complete with igloos, food, and entertainment. With the help of the fire district and our police and public works department, Santa continued the tradition of leading a parade throughout all of the village. Shop with the Hero was again held at Walmart, providing coats, gifts, and a Merry Christmas for those families in need. The things that unite us as a community have returned, and we have rediscovered that our ultimate success is only achieved due to the unique spirit of Addison and our willingness to work together. We have seen the importance of intergovernmental cooperation and partnerships that focus not only on the health and needs of our community, but also on the social, emotional, and economic needs. The strength of our community continues to come from a shared vision we have for Addison and the collaboration and commitment we share in achieving that vision. Breaking down all silos, sharing expertise and resources, providing for the needs of all of our community, and solidifying that common vision for all of Addison must be our ongoing goal. 2020 was a very good year for Addison. Together, we can make 2023 even better.
Addison is a place to work, live, and grow. Addison is a 2021 recipient of the Robert Wood Johnson Culture of Health Prize, one of only 5 communities nationwide to receive this honor. Located just 22 miles from Chicago's Loop and 30 minutes from O'Hare International Airport, Addison is close to major transportation links, convenient for daily commuters as well as leisurely family travelers. A wide range of homes await the Addison resident. Everything from modest starter homes that fit your budget, move up to larger, more diverse housing that will make your new Addison house a warm and inviting home. Later, adult downsizer living. So as your family grows, you stay within the community you have called home for years. Then, when it's time to join a growing and active senior community, Addison has many choices, from independent living to skilled nursing care facilities and memory care, all within Addison. Home to the 4th largest industrial park in Illinois, Addison is everything from family-owned businesses to Fortune 500 companies, with a diverse and skilled workforce and the opportunity for unique business-to-business partnerships. Addison's Workforce Development Committee challenges local business leaders, educators, and government officials to connect those seeking jobs with ready-to-hire companies through free job fairs and the Project Higher Ed program offered through College of DuPage. Our schools and centers of higher learning serve a diverse student population from early learners through elementary and secondary schools and into college-level courses and programs. Addison School District 4's Family Liaison Team is composed of bilingual staff working to ensure families have the resources they need to achieve success at school and home. District 4's Innovation Centers are colorful, engaging places for student learning and discovery. Indian Trail Junior High School offers students its new interactive and STEM-themed media lab with technology resources for learning. Addison Trail High School, one of the DuPage High School District 88 schools, is proud of its many successes, including a 90% student graduation rate. Families within District 88 save, on average, more than $500,000 in college tuition annually, with the many advanced placement courses available for students. District 88 embraces the cultural diversity of its student body, as nearly 40 languages in more than 30 countries are represented. Addison is home to Technology Center of DuPage, the award-winning career and technical education center for area high school students, and higher learning centers including the College of DuPage Regional Center, DeVry University, and the Chamberlain University College of Nursing. These dynamic places to learn and grow serve the needs of each student through rigorous curricula led by highly skilled faculty. Today's library is more than just books. With an Addison Public Library card, you can check out everything from puzzles to tools, Wi-Fi hotspots, laptops to cameras. And the Addison Library is fines-free, so you don't have to worry about returning items late. Library patrons can access e-books and online database resources, discover the library's creative and sound studios, find help for a variety of immigration and social services, have one-to-one tutoring and technology assistance, learn about local history, and take advantage of new and unique programs, most with no charge to Addison residents. The Addison Park District includes 25 beautiful parks, encompassing more than 280 acres and 2 major community parks. Club Fitness has a variety of services for your health, fitness, and physical therapy needs. The Links and Tees Golf Facility features an outdoor practice range, 9-hole par 3 golf course, Putter's Peak Adventure Mini Golf Course, and an indoor golf dome. Beautiful parks and popular recreational activities are available to all, from young players to up-and-coming athletes, active adults, and those with special needs. All will find a fun and exciting place for recreation in Addison. Serving most of Addison and surrounding communities, Addison Township offers a wide range of opportunities, from general assistance and the Addison Food Pantry for families in need, Secretary of State mobile office services, early voting for DuPage County voters, and drop-off recycling of household items. Addison is a great place to play and enjoy leisure time for you and your family. K1 Racing, Dave & Buster's, Marcus Theater, and Stardust Bowling Center, the largest continuous lane bowling center in the nation, and home to major tournaments such as the United States Bowling Congress's Women's Championship. There are many opportunities to celebrate and be a part of the Addison Advantage, including the popular Rock and Wheel Summer Concert and Festival Series. Give back to the community and kick off the season of giving at the Mayor's Community Charity Ball, which has raised more than $1 million in 30 years to support local charities, scholarships, and philanthropic programs. Celebrate our diverse community during the Addison Medina Shriners Parade. Step back in time to learn about Addison's past and dynamic growth at the Addison Historical Museum. Join in celebrating the holiday season by helping Addison families in need during the Shop with a Hero program. And be part of the festivities during the Christmas tree lighting and Christmas parade through Addison neighborhoods. As a community of caring, Addison responded during the COVID-19 pandemic by offering essential supply kits and coordinating vaccine clinics. Highly skilled and nationally accredited public safety departments serve residents, the business community, and those visiting Addison. First responder help begins at the Addison Consolidated Dispatch Center, a state-of-the-art public safety communications headquarters that provides dispatching services in the DuPage and West Cook County regions. The Addison Fire Protection District provides round-the-clock operations, including highly skilled firefighting, paramedic, and emergency medical services. The Addison Police Department uses a community engagement approach to providing crime prevention, community services, and law enforcement operations to ensure Addison remains a safe community. Come and see why Addison is the place to work, live, and grow. The many advantages of Addison are here for you. Contact your realtor today or visit addisonadvantage.org for more information.
Very nice. Couple things before we get into the questions. Mayor, I was glad to hear that there was a flood in here because I was afraid you guys had turned this into a dance floor or something to get extra revenue. It's all old plywood in here right now.
We were going for a basketball court.
Basketball court, okay. And I don't remember ever hearing that much new development and activity in Addison. It's really picked up a lot. Yeah, great. We've got a lot of questions now. So I'm going to ask all our speakers up here to try to answer as quick as we can so we can try to get through all of them. This one will go real quick. For the library, just wanted to say Addison Library is the best. So that's good. This one actually goes to all the taxing bodies up here. Taxes are important to ensuring the government can run successfully, but with inflation and the state of the economy, tax increases can make life difficult on citizens. Could each government agency briefly describe the tax rate increases we can expect in 2023? If a specific percentage increase has not been determined, can we be guaranteed we will not be subject to the maximum tax increase available for the agency? Anybody want to jump in?
Yeah, I can start with that. For the village, we represent about 10% of the total property tax bill. What we're looking at is the, by state mandates, any increase over 5% has to have what they call a black box warning, which is published in the newspaper. The village this year is looking at approximately 2.5 or 2.7% increase. So we're well under the state 5%, and we've really tried to hold it down as much as possible. So we're about 2.7%.
Okay. Anybody else?
I could say the fire,
Go ahead.
the fire district, so we are gonna go for 5%. And the reason why, and I don't know if everybody knows this, the only revenue we receive is property taxes and the money we get for ambulance billing. So the fire district does not have access to sales tax, the whole multitude of taxes that other places get to have. So we are extremely dependent on property taxes. And, you know, I know everybody's feeling a pinch. When your costs go up, our costs go up too. So it's just, it's something we have to do. Otherwise, we have to cut, to be honest with you, so.
Okay, Dennis?
We'll be at 4.9%, which is basically the maximum allowed. Our costs are no different than your household's costs. It costs me more to pay employees. It costs me more to put the electric on. It costs more for everything else, including all the food in the food pantry. We used to pay $10,000 a year to the Northern Illinois Food Bank. It now costs me $10,000 about every 2 or 3 months. So our costs are way up, and the only way we can provide assistance is by property taxes. That's where we get our general assistance, our emergency assistance to help seniors and our most vulnerable. So that's where we're at. I think last year on my tax bill, because I raised my own taxes, that was about $20. Again, we're less than 2% of your tax bill. So that's where it'll be at this year.
Park District?
For, regarding the Park District, if anything, we'll be looking at it at the end of the year, not currently, and it would definitely be under the 5%, if anything, but that's not discussed yet.
District 4 will be asking for the max we can get. That's a direct result of wages and also the fact of our aging buildings, infrastructure requirements that we're going to have to keep on spending a good amount of money. I will say that about 3 years ago, we retired all our debt, which resulted in a tax savings for everybody in Addison. And so because we don't carry any debt, none of your tax dollars are going to pay bond interest payments.
High school?
Costs are up across the board for us as well, so we're sitting at the CPI cap at 5%, and we won't know anything until later as the new properties and this stuff come along.
In the library?
So we are at 2.99%, but I will tell you, if you want to know, 2021 was 1.4, 2020 was 0, 2019 was 3, 2018 and 2017 was 0.
You got a great memory for anticipating. This is addressed to the Park District. The Park District has drastically decreased programs and facility amenities over the years, with the most recent closure being the Par 3 golf course at Links and Tees. We have seen the sauna and steam room at Club Fitness closed for long periods of time. The public pool was closed years ago. We have also seen youth sports programs turn to private clubs, residents, and for residents to enroll their children in sports other than park districts, and others abandon sports altogether. What is the Park District's long-term plan to improve the facilities and parks, create and sustain youth and community programs, and increase community involvement? Also explain why these facilities have deteriorated so bad without repair over the years.
It's a long list there. I'll do the best I can, and then I'll send a couple of the questions over to Jen, our executive director, for some of the answers. We have addressed a lot of the issues. I did mention the Club Fitness. We did fix a steam room. Yes, it was down for some time, but a lot of it came down to parts. Same thing with roof. We replaced the roof at Community Center this year, and that was delayed. We're looking to replace the roof at Centennial and also our maintenance building. All this comes down to our capital plan. Again, with everything, the outstanding debt already, we're trying to be as fiscally responsible as we can be with the taxpayers' money. Regarding Links and Tees, we did have the golf course. We had an irrigation and sprinkler issue last year. It is a goal of ours to get it up and running, but depending on part availability, the bids going out, and actually getting the work done within the right time frame, we don't have a set date on that. Some of the other questions, Jen, did you want to grab a couple of those? Regarding the programs that they were talking about, a lot have been lost.
Yes, actually, I think it would be good to contact us on any specific programs, because as we mentioned in our opening statement, we have actually increased programming. We have, any of the things that have been closed down have been, like many of my peers up here have spoke about, is that parts are really hard to get. Just for certain things, it's 6 to 9 months out. And/or we're paying 2 to 3 times more what we would have 2 or 3 years ago due to inflation. So there are certain things with aging facilities without asking taxpayers for more money. We are working on a capital plan to make sure that we can do that within, be fiscally responsible. But like we mentioned in the opening statement, we've added 3 new camps. We keep continuously adding programs. The programs that aren't attended, we try to revitalize. And so if there's any specific concerns, I encourage you to reach out with us and we can work on those programs that have been cut.
For the library, we have seen in the news that libraries are holding a different type of story time. Does the Addison Public Library have any plans on having drag queens at our library? The second question, what is the view of Addison Public Library on books concerning transgender subject matter? If we do have this type of book, what department is this type of book located in?
So I will tell you, we believe that parents, not the library, should determine what is appropriate for their children to read. However, parents have the right to guide their children's reading, but parents should not be making decisions for other parents' children. Specifically, a small group of parents should not dictate what other books or other people's children are allowed to read. Books are tools for understanding complex issues, so limiting based off book titles, right, will limit how students use their critical thinking. So without really knowing the name or title of the exact book, I really can't answer that question. But as far as book bans or any book challenges, we always have a policy that is in place. People are welcome to pick up a patron packet at one of our desks. We review, we have a committee that goes over that information. The individual does have to fill out a packet with all those questions in it to be able to guide us to what you're looking at. Mary Medjo, I will let you answer anything I did not answer.
Yeah, I will say we buy books based on professional review sources. So if there's a specific title you're interested in, I can answer that directly. In terms of where in the collection a particular book might go, it would be dependent on what audience it's written for. If it is a book for children, it would go in the children's collection. If it's a book for teens, it would go in the young adult collection. If it's an adult book, in the adult collection. We have a popular materials collection, so every book has to earn its place. If nobody in Addison wants to read that book, no matter how well it was reviewed, we're going to replace that with something that does get checked out, and we look at it that way. In terms of drag queen story times, there are no current or immediate plans to host something like that at our library.
For the mayor, and there's a couple questions here. Can anything be done to improve exiting and entering to the Sam's Walmart parking lot? The current configuration was installed before the Sam's gas station was put in, and during busy days at the gas station makes it difficult to exit the parking lot to go north on Rolling. I see people going to the Walmart right turn exit and then either doing a U-turn, even though it's not allowed, a U-turn in the Club Fitness parking lot, or they go down to Byron and go through the residential area to Lombard. Something should be done with the traffic backup on Lake Street of cars trying to get into the car wash. In the last paragraph, can the village have a recycling event at least once a year that accepts smoke detectors? I have a bunch that I've replaced over the years that are just sitting in a box in the garage that I would like to drop off versus having to send them to 3 or 4 different manufacturers.
Well, with the Walmart question, I think lowering the gas prices would eliminate a lot of the congestion there. But seriously, we have looked at that. We're aware of the problem, and we are talking to the owner of the property to talk about maybe redefining and realigning the flow in the plaza area and to better control the entrance and exit, possibly suggesting that the entrance that's right off of Lake Street and 53 not be used for entering. And so we'll see. That's an ongoing problem that we're aware of. The car wash is another huge problem, and the car wash has changed ownership recently within the last year. The previous owner took a lot of time and effort in maintaining the flow of traffic on Lake Street by stopping people from queuing on Lake Street. That hasn't been done, and our police department is going to be working with the current owners to alleviate that problem. As far as the smoke detectors, that's going to become a big issue. The governor just recently issued a declaration that any new smoke detectors that are being replaced that are battery operated have to be with a 10-year lifespan and a sealed battery. That is going to require that any current smoke detectors that are in use that fail or need a recharge or a new battery have to be disposed of with these new 10-year smoke detectors. So there's going to be a glut of need to manage and recycle the old ones. Currently, our staff is looking into adding that as part of the recycling in our next recycling project. So we're aware that this need is going to grow and that we will be addressing it in our next recycling program.
For the mayor, with the housing projects for the village and the housing options for residents, what is missing is an apartment complex with a pool, gym, and clubhouse. Do you think the village could welcome it in the future? And with the old Lutherbrook facility, do you think it could be a good for an apartment complex or townhomes?
Well, I think everybody has to remember that private property is developed by private entities. So we can suggest or we can say we would approve, but until somebody comes and says this is a project that we want to bring into the village, it's their choice. So, we would certainly look at that type of development. Whether Lutherbrook is the appropriate site for it, we would have to talk about that. But certainly we would be open to developers that would want to present project options for that type of living arrangement.
For the Addison Township, what is the township going to do with the November election winning referendum on mental health? And I check on the township meeting info minutes and meeting agenda for 2021. Can the township fix its website, like having a newsletter and et cetera, that the township, like Addison taxing bodies, could have their meetings on YouTube or ACTV for people who can't attend the meetings?
We are in the process of retaining somebody to help us put more content and redo our website, as well as communication with the township. My budget is a little bit less than others, therefore I have to pick and choose wisely as to how I spend our resources. And as I said, we'll be picking and our members of the Mental Health Board here in the next couple of weeks, and then they will have the remainder of the year to make recommendations to the Township Board. That board only makes recommendations. It'll be myself and the elected trustees who will ultimately decide on what the levy should be and how that money will be spent. So that is a stay tuned, and we'll look to other options via YouTube and Addison Cable for our meetings.
Thank you. And some of these questions, I know the speakers have talked about in their presentations, but sometimes people write the questions before they get to hear all the things. So for the mayor, I'm a new citizen of Addison. I enjoy living here, but my disability has made it very hard to get up and down the stairs in my building. The owner looked into installing a chairlift, but was rejected because it would distract from the scenery. But what about the citizens? What happens as they age or become disabled and can't walk up and down the stairs? Without a change to this rule, Addison would become a ghost town, as people would have to choose between living here or caring for their family members. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to express this matter.
Well, first of all, there isn't a village rule that precludes chairlifts and stairwells. There is a consideration if the chairlift takes too much room in the stairwell that it becomes a hazard for people going up and down stairs normally. What this sounds like is that possibly the building owner didn't want to install a chairlift and is blaming the village for an ordinance that really doesn't exist. If she would like to call and give us a little bit more information, we'd be glad to look into it. But the village does not stop because of scenery, kind of an issue, you know.
For the mayor, what are the plans of the Village of Addison to increase industry in Addison? Any jobs in the manufacturing sector? What is Addison Township leadership doing to make Addison more beautiful and hip? Why are there no farmers markets in the summer like in Wheaton? How is Addison Village doing financially? Is Addison in debt with the county or the state? What is the Addison Village Hall doing about parks, keeping them nice and more welcoming? How often are parks updated and cleaned? A lot of questions here. Why aren't the businesses in Addison more dog-friendly, especially for small dogs? These are some of the questions I have.
Well, it sounds like it's.
I can repeat anything you need.
Yeah, why don't you start with the first one?
What are the plans for the Village of Addison to increase industry in Addison and jobs and for the manufacturing sector?
All right, we have been very aggressive over the last 8 to 10 years with a workforce development program. I have a monthly meeting, and Dr. Barbanetti and District 88 is very involved, District 4 is involved. We have multiple members of our manufacturing community, as well as the College of DuPage that meets on a monthly basis. The job fairs that we've been doing, the police department has put on different programs for the different businesses in town. So we've been a very, very business-friendly organization, and we continue to do things that add value to being a member of the business community in Addison.
The next one was actually addressed to the Addison Township. What is the Addison Township leadership doing to make Addison more beautiful and hip? Why is there no farmer's market in the summer like Wheaton?
I would love to have a farmer's market. I've looked into it. It takes about 2 to 3 years to actually get a farmer's market. I would then have to close off parking lot space while we have our food pantry and we have other clients entering. So it's not as simple as just saying we'd like to have a food, we'd like to have a farmer's market. You have to then enter into an association, work with the farmers, where they're coming from, how often they're going to be there, the dates. I'd have to work with the village, which I'm sure would be accommodating as far as police protection and traffic issues. So it's something we've looked into, but like everything else, when you have limited resources, you have to try to do as much as you can with those, but this is something we would contemplate. I would say that the pandemic threw a wrench into that, and right now I spend a lot of time trying to source food for the food pantry versus trying to bring farmers into the parking lot. So that's something I would be open to working with the village on, but I'm not in charge of the Village of Addison. The gentleman to my left and his folks are, but we do get confused quite a bit. So if it's something good, we take credit for it. If it's not, then I blame the village. So
I don't know how the mayor's going to answer about getting more hip.
I think that was Dennis's.
I do the best I can.
It's groovy.
For the mayor, for board meetings on the village website, I try to find if there is closed caption for board meetings for the village and no way to do it for residents. What can you do for people who are deaf or can't hear? And the library used to stream their meetings on YouTube, and the second districts and the school districts do more meetings on YouTube.
Yeah, my understanding is that YouTube does have the ability to do the voiceover and we don't necessarily, and we will need to look into it, do that at this time, but tonight's is being live streamed, this program, but we'll look into seeing what the options are to maybe provide that service.
This is directed to, I guess, School District 4 and High School District 88. My daughter is, you got a very courteous audience. Good evening, they start out, so I'm impressed. My daughter is 10 months old, and I'm concerned about her attending any public school within Addison in the future with the path the districts are on right now. Reason being is because I do not tolerate bullying. Yet I see parents posting on social media about other students bullying their children, and no one is stepping in to actually take charge of these situations. Why are students who bully only getting a slap on the wrist for their actions? Do you know, according to the National Institute of Health, suicide is the second leading cause of death for adolescents and young adults in the U.S.? In-person bullying is known to raise the risk of thought of suicide and attempts for both victims and perpetrators.
We've had a question come up recently about bullying and fighting in District 4, and some of the information that's being transmitted on social media is not totally correct. We take aggressive action against these students, severe action. I can't get into specifics, but trust me, it happens.
There we go. It is something that we do know it happens, and we ask that they report it to the schools itself to take care of it. We do have the information to hand out to help them with, and especially with the suicide net, they were putting it on ID cards and making it available as much as possible.
For the mayor, the former Oxford Bank and now Green State Credit Union has closed the drive-up facility at Addison Road and Natoma Avenue. Do you have any information as to what Green State plans to do with the property? Will they modernize the facility or tear it down or construct a new drive-up? Do they plan to sell the property and the adjoining parking lot? Do they plan on closing the banking facility also?
I believe they were talking about selling the property, but Mike, you could probably.
Yeah, we've had some preliminary conversations with them. They do want to sell part of the property and move the drive-through over to the northern location of that. But there's no definitive plans yet on what they want to do. They were talking about possibly selling it to a developer and building some retail there, but nothing has gone through yet.
For the mayor, I live by Cherokee Park, and when it rains heavily, there is standing water in the street and my yard. Why does the water drain to my yard instead of Cherokee Park? All the best and thank you. I tell you, you got the politest people.
Right. And obviously the water likes them more than Cherokee Park. But no, one of the things that, I mean, we've been very aware of is that in different areas of our community, there are flooding issues. And it's been an ongoing problem that in my presentation, I mentioned that that's one of our major goals. And we have received grant funds to specifically look at flooding and water issues throughout the village.
For Addison Township, in the first part you've already talked about what are the plans for the mental health board, but the second part, and I don't think you have, how are you determining eligibility for board members?
The board members only have to live in the township, and I'm the person who would recommend the persons that I would see fit to serve on the board, and then with advice and consent of the trustees, they would be appointed to the board. So we are taking resumes, and those names will be coming out shortly.
This is addressed to the village and the park district. Why can't the village allocate more dollars to the park district? Why are our fields in the town subpar compared to other districts in the activity? There's a few things on the ball fields, a number of questions.
Well, I'll first address the issue why the village. We are separate taxing bodies, and we have a different board of directors. We have different levies and taxing mechanisms. So for the village to subsidize the operation of the park district is just not appropriate. That is something that the park has to be, our park district has to be looking at in terms of what they levy and what their financial needs are. So.
Well, the card was signed treasurer of the park district, so yeah, they're looking for more money. No,
well, in all honesty, too, there is a lot of intergovernmental work done. We do a lot of the work on vehicle repairs from our garage and our facilities. So with the fire district, we do the same thing. So while we don't directly subsidize or give funds over to other agencies, we all work together to share resources to minimize the expense to the residents.
And for the Park District, there's at least 3 questions on the ball fields.
So as I mentioned earlier, we did do work on all the ball fields, softball and baseball fields. There were some tripping hazards. The fields weren't level. There were big lips into the outfield. We spent, as I mentioned, on that $30,000 to fix it. They're all level playing condition. Now, we do understand that there are some other needs that may want to be addressed, maybe more of a beautification. But the way we decided, and we discussed this as a board, was let's get rid of any safety hazards first, and then we can worry about the beautification aspects, as I said, of that. Yeah, and it's something that's always ongoing with us.
For the mayor, and I know you talked about this, so maybe you could just answer it real quickly again. What's the update for A&W and Fuddruckers?
Fuddruckers is for sale, and A&W should have their opening sometime this spring or early summer.
For the school, I think this is for the grade schools. Why is there no crosswalk in front of Lincoln School? It's chaotic, and the lady there uses cones. It's not safe. I'm new to Addison and do not understand this.
Does one of my administrators want to answer that?
I'd be happy to. Whenever you have something like that, you want to try to get as much input as possible. I get input from the individual that oversees all the crosswalks. She is one of the most passionate individuals on that I've ever worked with. And then you get more input from parents and administrators that are near that. So I guess for whoever posed this question, I'd ask, please email me directly. I get input about crosswalks, and sometimes it's differing. So everything that I get into, I do reach out to the building administrator that's nearest to that. And so, yes, please, I would like more information.
For the Park District, is the Park District going to start charging for playing on sports teams and charging for sports registrations?
This has been, thank you for that question. Kind of figured that one may be coming up. This has been discussed I've been on the board for almost 3 full years plus, probably since the beginning. As I mentioned, just with the ball field renovations this year, that was all done within our budget. If people remember when we talked about, and you brought up the percentages, the Park District gets just over 5% of the tax levy, which is the lowest of every taxing body in here. So again, outside of Township, apologies. And again, with that limited budget, we have to look at the best way to spend the money to benefit the entire population of Addison. We would love to be able to have our favorites and do this and fix that one a little better and another project, but that's not our responsibility. Our responsibility is to look at the $12 million budget we have and decide the best way to allocate that money. Now, bringing up the issue with the charging of the kids, it was a hot topic in our discussions, as I mentioned. We talked about this for a long time. We tried to come up with, as a board, the best solution. We realized that nobody's going to be 100% happy. The board wasn't 100% happy. The affiliates or other people that are going to be using the fields probably won't be 100% happy, but I think we've come up with a happy median. And what we were looking at was, we have many groups in town. A couple are represented here. We have AYS, we have the old rec club, AGSP, we have Addison United Soccer, we have Braves Baseball. The reason we discussed start doing a fee on this for field rental is because they are their own bodies. They run their own budgets. They have their own boards. They're not affiliated through the Park District through our programs. And that's one thing that people have to kind of keep in mind on that. So really, in the big picture of it, taxpayers have been, I don't want to say subsidizing, but taxpayers in Addison have been paying for field usage, field maintenance, the lights, the new equipment that we brought in. They've been paying for a full-time fields and athletic supervisor that maintains the fields. So again, it wasn't any decision. And with the 5 board members and the great staff that we have over there, we came up with a solution that we thought was workable for everybody. It is also in our discussion that this will be reviewed going into the next fiscal year, 2024. Again, we may need to make some changes. There's never been anything in writing before between Park District and groups that are renting our fields and renting our facilities. I hope that answered the question.
This is kind of a follow-up for District 4 and District 88. Bullying and assaults are happening, which you said, but what are the schools doing to try to stop it? The equity and discipline policy that has been adopted, please explain it. I'm not sure which one of you adopted. Is there an equity and discipline policy?
Dr. Sutton?
Yeah, I mean, there certainly is. I think if anything, whenever you start talking about student discipline and fighting, you want to acknowledge that anything that happens is too much. And so it's not lost upon me at all that if there's even one fight at any one of our campuses, it's one too many for me. Even though there's 4,000 kids that come to the school district every day, I envision that they're my own. I can tell you that we're doing quite a few interventions, both short-term and long-term, to address and improve the situation. So it's like, I think the biggest thing that I want to impress upon any community member or parent in here that's here physically or listening to this is we take it very seriously. And it's one of those things that it's like, I invite the dialogue. And so I like it when parents reach out to me so they can know above all else, I want to acknowledge that if there's even one fight or significant discipline issue, it's one too many, and nobody deserves to send their kids to a school that they're nervous about. I'll defer to my friend at District 88.
So we would echo, the efforts that are happening at District 4. We are very aggressive on reports of bullying, as well as on fights. In terms of, I'm not sure what policy they're referring to in terms of an equity and discipline policy. We do use restorative practices in some of our behavior interventions, but that does not replace suspensions. We use out-of-school and in-school suspensions when students need a separation from the environment. But we do have very aggressive policies on bullying and do intervene immediately on those reports. We also do quite a bit of preventative work, not only in our PBIS efforts, our positive behavior intervention and supports systems throughout the both schools, which means that we communicate and teach behavior expectations explicitly for students, and that happens, ongoing throughout both schools. We also have extensive mental health supports that our board has authorized in the last 2 years. Expansion of those supports, not only extra social workers and counselors to intervene, but also partnerships this year, both through the Northeast DuPage Youth and Family Services, clinicians on campus working with our students, as well as Serenity House. And so we'll continue to expand those partnerships to make sure our students have those supports. But we are very much, intervening on any reports of bullying. If there are specific concerns that parents have, I would invite them to reach out to us. Our doors are open. We're happy to meet with parents on concerns, and we encourage you, if there's something that is that you know about, if you see something, say something.
Since we've got the school districts here, what is being done about the kids who vape and smoke in the bathrooms? The bathrooms are being limited for use, which affects all the other kids. You need to hold the kids that are smoking and vaping accountable.
Yeah. So I'll continue then. So we absolutely have accountability for students that are caught on campus with vaping or with vaping paraphernalia, et cetera. In terms of curbing that behavior, there's several pieces that have been done across both schools. There are times when we do have to divert certain traffic within certain bathrooms at certain times of day. Okay, so it doesn't mean that students don't have access to bathrooms, but we do at times have to divert that to help with the preventative efforts. There are other, we have increased supervision, increased student supervisor presence throughout the building, and as well as added supervision throughout the building. The ID scanners that were talked about in our presentation also involve having better control of how students are accessing certain parts of the building. And so that also will help us. We know exactly if students are not to be, for example, in a certain lunch period, they're not, if they access anywhere near the cafeteria, we know that they're not supposed to be there, et cetera. So those are types of preventative efforts that are happening, but certainly are always looking for feedback from parents and to partner with parents on this, as well as having those supports and preventative efforts on campus related to Serenity House, as well as our own staff and student support staff to intervene on this as well. So.
And like I mentioned earlier with the bullying and fighting, there's severe consequences for students that get caught vaping. And Dr. Sutton, did you want to add something to that?
Yeah, I think the one thing related to that topic, and even some of the discipline stuff, is since I've arrived, I've pretty aggressively told the junior high administration, you will contact the police. We will take this sort of thing seriously. And I think the last thing I'll kind of impart that's more long-term, as we look at building renovations, not only at some of the elementary schools or parts of the junior high, we're trying to be strategic. We have one of the largest junior high cafeterias that I've come across in my professional career. And I think as we do some of these maintenance projects that are needed for a variety of reasons, we are trying to be strategic of how we can impart better traffic flow and just situations where it's a little bit better situation to control the volume of kids that frankly we have, especially at our junior high.
And we are coming up close to, or about 10 minutes away from 9 o'clock, and I just asked, and it is a hard deadline. So the questions that don't get asked, they will be handed out to all the participants here, so they will see, they'll get to see your questions on that. For the library, why is the library acting as a food bank when there is one not far away? Can we use the money for library purposes instead?
So I'll answer that. I don't know what that question is asking specifically, but we do partner up with the Northern Illinois Food Bank. We provide snacks after school for students that come through the building. We also do that in the summer to kind of, address the gap. Students are not in school. We also have a lot of people that live in the community that are food insecure, so we partner up with them to provide support for our students.
For the fire district, how does Addison's 9% of how's that 9% of the tax bill compare to other fire districts around here?
So comparable size to us?
Yes, they said similar.
Budget-wise and levy-wise, we're about equal. We're a fire-protected district, so we can't be compared to Villa Park, Elmhurst, and Lombard. Totally different budget structure. We run a minimum 13 people a day, a maximum of 17. You got Villa Park that runs 6 a day. So if you compare us to like a Carroll Stream, which would be about the same size, we're right on par with them. So.
And hopefully, for the mayor, and hopefully this makes sense to you, can you put a binding referendum question on all upcoming ballots that will include all incumbent officials? And what is the current bond at, and what is the interest rate?
I'm not sure I
understand any of that. Is there a bond issue that the village is going for?
No.
No, okay. Whoever wrote that, contact whichever taxing body, and they'll get you in the right direction on that answer. For the Park District, why are there no lighting detectors in Addison's parks? Lightning detectors, I'm sorry.
Jen, can I defer that one to you? I know we've talked briefly about that, but as a board, you want to take that? Thanks.
We've talked briefly about that. That would just be something that would be on our capital plan and looked at through the board members as if that's going to be one of the priorities of for the projects that we determine.
Okay, and there actually were a couple of questions on the lightning. For the township, the food pantry is open 2 hours a week. What kind of traffic do you see in such a short window? Have you considered recruiting volunteers to run the pantry so it can be open more hours?
Well, the interesting thing is I don't have enough food to give out to anybody right now because donations are down, food costs are up. We went from 600 families where I had federal government help to now I have limited help. We got a $25,000 grant from federal dollars, which are still our dollars, when other food pantries that are smaller got more. And trust me, I advocated on behalf of the foundation to get the resources. Food prices are way up. Selection is way down. We used to have 15 pages to purchase food from the Northern Illinois Food Bank. I now have 4. One of those pages is condiments. So I don't think that that's going to help feed any families as far as how we're addressing these issues, because I don't have meat. We're out of cereal, and it's a shortage everywhere. We used to get food from local grocery stores. I can't take food from local grocery stores because they hold the food till it spoils. Then they'd like the township to come and pick it up with your tax dollars, throw it in my dumpster, and take a tax write-off. So we stopped that program. Even to the point where larger producers like Amazon are holding things longer. So I'm not getting the donations I used to have. There used to be a federal program to which we would get boxes of produce directly from the farms. We don't have that any longer. And as I said earlier in my opening remarks, we used to spend about $10,000 a year for food. For the entire year, the township would give the foundation a grant to purchase from Northern Illinois Food Bank. Now I spend about $10,000 every couple months. Now we're working with the mayor and the pastors group. We have almost every pastor in the village is new. And I was invited recently. We spoke with the pastors, educating them on how we consolidated the food pantry for the village and how we're working together to do food drives quarterly. We do have, if you go to atcares.org, is our website. We also have a Facebook page. There's PayPal donations. We work with local businesses here, and I'm hoping to have somebody come in to help us raise money full time. But with expenditures way up, I used to have the 5th grade come in and volunteer. They no longer, I don't have enough work for volunteers to come in and do. So we have faced a number of challenges, from becoming a grocery store when we first opened up about 5 years ago to becoming a distribution hub that not only helped this community, but helped 5 other neighboring communities and townships. And now we went from 24 commercial grade refrigerators to I'm lucky if I'm running about 5. So we are up and down. And as the economy goes, so goes the township. So when you see more need and there's more struggle in your household, that means there's more struggle for our families and less resources. So that's one of the things we're trying to address is getting more resources and more food. That's why we're having a food drive coming up here in the next couple of weeks. We'll be actively recruiting volunteers and donations throughout the next year. We've had a number of volunteers come out throughout the years, which has been extremely valuable, but it is something that has been very difficult to, I'm not an economist, it's very hard to understand how the ups and downs of the market is going, but I can tell you that there's a food shortage, and we are seeing the end of it. So we will be in better touch with the community throughout the next few months as we look to refill our shelves, and then again invite our clients back in to shop because with COVID they weren't able to shop, and now I don't really have enough resources for them to actually shop. There's not enough of selection, so we are working on it.
Thank you. We're out of time, I've gotten the word. But people will be around and you can ask questions, ask more questions to them, and you hear them all say, give us a call, we'll be glad to talk with you. We'd like to thank all of our speakers and you, the audience, for your participation in the 16th annual Shape of Addison Town meeting. Yes, I had to slip that in somewhere. It's not easy being up here answering all these questions. Let's give them a round of applause. We look forward to next year's program. Thank you.